Hey everyone, welcome back to another StationOne release update video this week, of course with release version 0.25.0. We've had a relatively busy week here at StationOne headquarters with various events and other things going on. So probably a slightly smaller release this month, this week, particularly with regards to feature additions. But we have most certainly done some work on the platform, including fixing some bugs, number of reported issues, particularly related to older mobile devices, such as iPhone 11s, 13s, Samsung internet browser and things like that, that has been struggling to render some of the front-end elements of the platform. So we've done some pretty aggressive testing in that space and put in some legacy fixes to try and better support some of those older devices, noting that, obviously in particularly a volunteer space, that there is quite a breadth of mobile devices that members have. So if we can ensure that we can safely provide coverage to the bulk of those devices, then that's a great outcome, both for the platform and obviously the members who are using the platform as well. So we'll jump into having a look at some of the new features that we've added to the platform. Firstly, starting with our new induction feature. So coming over now into our unit settings, you'll see that we have a new induction tab sitting here. So basically this allows you to create a reusable onboarding template for new members that can be, it's automatically triggered when you create a new member in the platform. Basically with your templates, you can add any number of actions that you want to be generated for a new member onboarding to your unit. So in this example here, we've got, assigning them a hook, giving them a station access fob, getting them PPC, spelt incorrectly. And likewise with each of these, they've got a person assigned to them already. So when this workflow triggers, the new member will receive an email from the platform telling them that their induction checklist has started. Likewise, at the same time, it will also email those members who have been allocated those particular tasks. So you may have someone who looks after your station security or something like that you want to, every time we run this, we're just going to allocate those tasks out to them. It might be the stores officer to get some PPC sorted and things like that. So we basically create our member induction checklist, which is, effectively looks like this. And then from there, the workflow is relatively minimal from the unit's perspective. So if we add a new member in here, and we'll just put in here, and they're just going to be a brigade member. So we've got their email address, their name, that's all good. Down the bottom now, you'll see we've got start induction plan. So we can still add members or users to the unit without triggering this induction system. So it's off by default. So we opt that in and we create that. And basically now what's happened is some emails have gone out. So you'll see Tara in the first instance has received a welcome email, and that's got the tasks and the person responsible. So if Tara wanted to, find that person and make some connections within the unit, they can do that. But obviously that's all sent to them. And then likewise, the allocated induction tasks have been sent to those people as well. So we can see the captain in this case, you've been assigned a task as part of Tara's induction, and then it tells them to assign a hook. So from the email directly, without even having to log into the platform, we can click this button. Yep, we're going to mark that as complete. That's all good. So that's now been updated in the system. So if we come back and we have a look at Tara, you can see she's got a little icon here indicating that she's on an induction checklist. So if we come in here and we click the live induction, you'll see that this is now updated to say that this initial task here has been completed. Likewise, we can also, this one did not have a automated assignee, so we can mark this as complete here as well. So you'll see that her induction plan has now also updated in that method as well. So pretty much we can see all of the induction plans sitting here. Once they get to the 3 of 3 complete, that will basically drop off that member's profile. So that's effectively considered to be done. At that point, the little icon will disappear. At the same time, via the station portal, the members can also see the steps remaining in their induction plan. So if they go to the station portal and they select their name, there will be a section in there similar to the PPC allocations table or the skills plan table that shows them the current status of their induction as well. So if there's anything remaining that they might need to follow up or finish up, they have access to do that there as well. So that is our member induction feature that we've added to StationOne. Obviously, as you might expect, the logical next step in this feature, which we'll inevitably try and target in the next release, is an offboarding feature as well. So basically going through those steps in reverse, or whatever it might be, to reclaim keys, access, remove from security systems, remove from any apps or platforms, recover any PPC and things like that. So we want to be able to support units basically, inducting, onboarding and offboarding their members efficiently and effectively, and also not being left in that situation where you're, missing pages or missing keys, and the records are obviously incomplete and difficult to find. So offboarding will be coming, and we'll get that hopefully into the platform very shortly. Moving on to our events feature, and this is also replicated into our training sessions feature as well. We now do have a notify me of RSVPs. So basically this again is an opt-in feature for the event, and this will notify you of any time that anyone RSVPs to that particular event, or as I said, the same also applies in our training sessions now. So they also have the notify me of new RSVPs here as well. Obviously, this was something that was requested by our users, something that not everyone is going to want to use, obviously because of the volume of email that it may generate. So just obviously be cautious of that. However, that feature is now available for both the training sessions and the event email notifications and RSVPs. We've also just done some shuffling around in this view, so hopefully we don't break too much muscle memory, but just to try and get a little bit cleaner. I think the mandatory training was up on the top, and we had some dress code and some other things around in other places. The reason we did do that change is linked library articles also used to be up here. We've now moved that down next to our skills plan completion. So we've now got this box here, and that was basically because we had requests to support multiple linked articles to that training session. So, effectively now we can select multiple of them. We can obviously, at the same time, do our skills plans. So we can, create this as a, demo training in here. So we will check our notify on RSVP. I'll just set this for tomorrow, just to avoid any clashes or anything like that. So we've got that enabled. We don't want it recurring. We can skip some of this. For the notify RSVP for event and for training sessions to function, it does require either an instructor or an event organizer or creator, or it will fall back to the creator, I should say. We can then do a skills plan in here, and we can now select our multiple linked library articles, which will also be included in the email notification that goes out. So we've added that into this feature as well. Send that out to all brigade members. That all looks good. So we'll create that training session. We'll shoot that off. So now obviously we'll see the email happen. So we can see new training session. We can see our training resources that have been linked here, which is great. So we can RSVP back to this, which is all good. So that's gone in. And we'll also see the new RSVP email has come through to the instructor on that training session there as well. So you can sort of see that full round cycle happening. At the same time, if we come over to our training, we can also see those 3 articles are now linked here, where previously we obviously only supported the single article linking for those training sessions as well. The other thing that we've added into training is the ability to capture notes against this. So you can see a couple of options here as well. So we can share the note, just a note on here. This is just a note, and we can add that in, and that's fine. Or we can share this with the instructor. So this is shared with the instructor. on here, and it will automatically email that out. So now we can see there a new note has been added by Long Hill Captain and sent out to the instructor. And then also we can also share with all registered attendees. So note for everyone into here, if you wanted to provide them some updates, and then that new note has now gone out to everyone who is registered. Everyone who is registered for that training session correctly. So that's some updates and some feature additions that we have made into our training sessions. Moving on to actions, a couple of slight things here. Firstly, again, due to requests, we can now link a action item to an equipment or a asset. So there's the new button here. If we select our piece of equipment from the drop down, so chainsaw tanker, for example, we'll see that that generates this link now. It appears as linked to that piece of equipment. So if we go into our assets and our equipment menu, you'll see that the chainsaw tanker now has the little warning symbol here. And if we click into there, we can see that associated action with that piece of equipment, which will remain effectively in situ until that outstanding action item is resolved. Equally, members will also see that via the station portal. So if they come in this case, and do a chainsaw check, you can see the chainsaw tanker selected here is showing that open action item that we associated to that chainsaw. So that was a additional request, and we can also drop that link out of here if we need to as well, and we don't want that there anymore. But basically just joining that action into a few more parts of the platform. We've also now got the ability to export your actions table. So basically the filtered results that you're seeing down in this part of the screen, we can export that out now as a CSV as well. So that was something that was requested, which is now available in the next release, or in the current release that's coming out, depending when you're watching this video. Units can also now set the days prior for overdue action items. So if we have a look on our station portal, we've got our overdue inspection list that appears here at the top. So 19 days and 16 days overdue at this point. By default with the platform, these start to appear 6 days prior to going overdue. So you get that 6-day early warning. We've now allowed that to be unit customizationable. So if you come into your unit settings on the station portal tab and you scroll down to the bottom, there's now the due soon warning. So you can change this to any number of days that are here that better suits your requirements. So again, something that had been requested and something that we've delivered into the platform. By default, everyone will, as this feature goes live, will remain at the 6-day mark, and then you can obviously come in here and change that as required. We've also made some updates to our calendar, which were requested. So if we now have a look in our feature settings here, and we come down to our duty officer section, you'll see that there's some additional options that are here now. So we've got show on calendar, and we've got show on public calendar, and show on rotation day only. So effectively mimicking those settings that are available for the duty crew calendar visibility. So if we turn this off in here and we come over and we take a look at our brigade calendar, you'll now see that we have that duty officer bar appearing persistently all the time in the calendar. And then if we come back in and we flick that setting back over and we refresh this calendar view, we'll see that that now just drops down to the day of rotation. So obviously similar behavior to your duty crews there. So this was something that units had requested to be able to see. We've also added the duty officer into the station dashboard view, which is this one. So you can see that the duty officer now appears permanently up in that top bar there as well. So that was something else that was requested. On reporting, we've made some minor changes into some of the calculation methods just based on what was seemingly some incorrect data. But most importantly, in the member activity report now, you'll see that there's a settings button here, and this actually allows you to customize the table that you're viewing. So if things like hose tests are not relevant because it's something that you don't do, you can now just omit that from that table entirely and not calculate that as part of that the information that's returned back in that table. Likewise, you can also put in some event, so you can break out your event types, and you can also break out your activity types now. So, you know, peer support, for example, we can add that. There's obviously no one in here, and you just saw when that scroll occurred as well that we've now forced this table header to stay persistent. So that was scrolling with the view previously, and then obviously you might forget, you know, what certain columns were. So that's been changed as well. So yeah, you can change these and basically, you know, put in whatever you want to appear in this table, and that's also respected at the point that you export that data as well out of the platform. So a couple of changes there, and as I said, there's a couple of other changes that are probably a bit more specific throughout some of the reporting features in the platform, which just look at potentially some data inconsistencies that we had, and calculating things out, particularly around failure trend reports and those kind of things. Beyond those sort of things that you've seen there, there are some additional changes into the platform, which are all detailed as usual in our release notes. So there is some stuff to do with, as I mentioned, the reporting, driving reminders, driving codes. Just made some changes to better support our organisations using the platform that don't necessarily use the terminology code 1 and code 2 or code 3 for driving, and may use something more like priority. So that's been implemented in this version as well. And then I said we've also done quite a number of bug fixes in here as well, which are all detailed in the release notes. So on that note, we'll get all of this uploaded. It is you know, getting late on release day, and I'm sure there's some people waiting for this one already. So we'll get this out, hopefully have a bit more scope in the coming week to get some more feature inclusions into the platform. And as usual, we obviously encourage you to please keep communicating those. They are invaluable. We do read them all, and as is evident by this release, we do make our best effort to try and get as much of that feature request and feedback into the platform from our users in each release. So until next week, thank you, and we'll catch up then.